What is up, wax fans? It's Patricia. Today I'm picking my wax for the August wax melting challenge, but this is a great video to watch if you're looking for inspiration on what to melt in a month that is kind of tapering off from summer and heading into fall. So what my goal is for this month is to use up Club. I'm just going to bring this up here. I wrote them out so I would remember. Club with an asterisk. So what that means is any of the Club scents that I have too much of, I want to use some of them up. And you'll see when I'm in my Club drawer, you'll probably be able to see which ones those are. Vendor wax, what I did was I picked, I have my Scoopables in this green bin here. I have open vendor wax in progress in this bin. And then what I did was I just grabbed the rest of my Sassy Girl Aroma Brittles. And I thought I'll pick from those because otherwise it gets overwhelming. And I don't have a ton of vendor wax. I think the latest number of units I looked up, I have 114 vendor wax units, so I just don't want to go through everything. This is a nice selection. Hopefully we can pick from here for everything. And I kind of thought about it in advance so I won't be so unorganized, but I'm just going to put you back in the middle. So what we'll do is I will go through my list, and forgive me for my, video ability, but we're going to go through one by one, and we're going to try to do roughly half Scentsy and half vendor, because I do have a lot of vendor wax that's getting older. So the first one, it says melt a raspberry or cream scent. Well, I know I have in my Club, I'm just going to show you. Oh, it's a little messy. Let me just get you a little closer. So any of the ones that have double rows, like here we have Happy Birthday has a double row, Churro Churro has a double row, Cotton Candy Cookie. Love and Happiness actually has a double row, but you can't see because it's under here. Those are probably the top priority. Sugar, Icicles, and Evergreen. The second priority would be any of the ones that I have 4 of, because the next Club I get will put me to 5, and each little stack has 4. So if I go to 5, I have to start another row. So priority is any ones that I have over 4 of. And then second priority would be any that I have 4 of, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. All right, so in my Club for raspberry or cream, well, I have a lot of vanillas, but I know I want to use up some Cotton Candy Cookie. Now on the 4th, it says National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day, melt something to highlight one of those ingredients. So I think I'm going to pick Cotton Candy Cookie for that, so we'll just hold off on that. But raspberry, I know I have some in my vendor wax. And what I did was I took all my Sassy Girl aromas, and they're in order of date. So I have Ghostly Lattes. And then the second one is Raspberry Jamful Donuts. So I know I'm going to use this. I just finished Raspberry Donuts in the kitchen, and so I'll compare this. I have warmed this before, and it's a very pretty raspberry scent. I wouldn't say it's totally edible at all. So we'll do that for the first. I'll put it in my bin. And I'm going to try to do roughly 1-to-1, but I know it's not going to probably work out that way. All right, let me grab my sheet. I'll keep you over there for a while. It says, on the second sunflower day, melt a sunflower or starts with S scent. Well, I don't tend to like sunflower scents. Any S scents I have in my Club, I have Sugar, I have Simply Vanilla, I have Sugar Cookie, I have Sea Breeze. I think those are all my S's. I do have over here, let me move you. These are 6 wax bars that I actually have open. So what I'll do is I'll just grab Simply Vanilla. We'll go with that because I do love vanilla. And if I want to switch it, I will switch it up. So we'll do that. And what I'll probably have to do is go back and watch my video to see which wax bars I pick for what. Melt a watermelon scent. I don't have a lot of watermelon scents. I know this just because the ones I have are like watermelon mint, watermelon patch. I have those in my Bring Back My Bar, which I could grab. But I actually know in my testers here, because just the other day I found a whole bunch of watermelon tangerine testers. And so I put them back here and not realizing that I would use them, but this is what I'm going to use those for. Watermelon tangerine I will use for my watermelon day. So far I've got a Club, a vendor, and some testers. So I'm doing okay. All right, and then on the 4th, we already talked about this a little bit, so I'm just going to grab my oldest cotton candy cookie because it says chocolate chip cookie day. And obviously there's cookies in here. I didn't really want to melt a chocolate scent this time of year, but you could melt any cookie scent. You could melt something with vanilla, with butter, with sugar, lots of options. So I'm gonna pick cotton candy cookie because there's cookie in that. All right, the next one, it says melt a wax with blackberry. I don't think I have any testers with blackberry. I don't think I have any vendor, or not vendor, I don't think I have any club with blackberry, but I probably have vendor wax with blackberry. So let's scoot on over. So I definitely know I have a Sassy Girl aroma in here with blackberry, so I could melt that. And I probably have some in my Scoopables. I'd rather use up, what would I rather use up? The Scoopables are probably older, but I'd have to go through them all. Let's go through, because I'll just show you what I have for Sassy Girl. I have Casper Lane, Adam's Beach Party. So Casper Lane and Ghostly Lattes are from 2022, and this is from October of 2023 we're into. Okay, so yes, I do have blackberry one here, baked blackberry cider. So I'll probably warm this. I'll put it in my bin. And it's a little bit of a glare here from the overhead light. Let me go turn that off and see if I can get rid of it. All right, so not as bright, but not a glare as well. So, all right, so let's move on. I will go back to this pile as needed, and I probably should be picking from this, but I know I don't have any blackberry. I don't think I have any blackberry. I'm not big into blackberry, so. On the 6th, it says melt a root beer or starts with R wax. Well, I do have root beer float, but it isn't in my cupboard. And I could melt that, but I could just look for something that starts with R. Let's see. Let's just see what else we have. We have Beach Wedding, Escape to the Cabin, Night on the Beach, Oath, Peanut Butter Sugar Cookies. I could use that for, but I want to use up some of that cotton candy cookie. Pineapple Pound Cake, Pumpkin Snack, Sookie, and White Pumpkin Latte. So nothing that starts with R there. Let's see. I'm just going to quickly look through here. I have Rainbow Melt, but that's the vendor that starts with R. You know what? I have a tester over here. Let's use a tester. I have, see if you can see that, Ruby Nectarine. So we'll use Ruby Nectarine for starts with R. So I have 2 testers, 2 Scentsy, 2 vendor. Okay, we're doing okay. All right, warm a purple wax. Again, well, this is purple. The blackberry cider, you can't really see, but it's purple. But I know that I have some loose testers in here because I looked, and this is purple. French lavender. I don't really like lavender, so I will warm this and use it up. So these testers I have in here are ones that are retired or I want to use up because they're older. So all my other testers are pretty much in season. And actually, Newborn Nursery is not retired. I think I threw 3 in here that aren't retired, but they're just loose and they're getting on my nerves. So these ones are still in season. We have 100 Acre Wood, Newborn Nursery, and Cinnamon Vanilla. But the rest are all either old or retired. So I have Mystery Man, which is not retired, but these are testers that are old. So anyway, moving on. So we got the purple. It says melt a wax that a YouTuber loves and tag them if you can. Well, I mean, sometimes it's hard to remember what everybody likes. I watch a lot of Lisa's Rowberry's videos, so I'm pretty familiar with what she likes. Let me think. Well, I think I recently watched one of her videos, so let's just pick one of her favorites. I watched one of her videos. Let me get rid of my lid to my... All right. I watched one of her videos the other day, and I think she was talking about whipped frosting, and I have 4 of these. She also likes churro, but I feel like she talks a lot about whipped frosting lately. So maybe I'll warm one of these because I have 4 of these. So, and I'd like to revisit that. So we'll just settle on this one. That's fine. I will tag her. I don't even know if she'll see it, but we'll see. All right, Sweet Serendipity for let's bring this up so you can see it. All right, where it says, on the 9th, it says Sweet Serendipity, warm a coconut, cherry, or orange wax. Coconut, cherry, or orange wax. Well, I will use Cuckooing Coconut because it's in my club and I have a partial. So that kind of kills two birds with one stone. We will use that. The next one, it says Sea Slide Splendor. Melt a scent you associate with exploring the coast. Melt a scent you associate with exploring the coast. All right. Sea Breeze would be an obvious one. I've got it right here. I'm just looking around. Sea Breeze. You're along the coast. You're smelling the breeze from the sea. And I have 7 cubes left. And this is actually my club. And I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it in there. It's really nice. I warmed it in my entranceway, which I don't think is strong enough warmer for this one. So I want to give it another chance. So we'll do that. All right, I'm getting a little bit of a stockpile. I have 5 Scentsy bars. I have 3 different testers and 2 vendor wax. So I probably need to get a few more vendor. All right, so let me see. Warm a childhood or child's favorite wax. Well, obviously kids really like candy and strawberry. I don't know if I have anything with cotton candy. Let me think. Let's see. Let's warm something in here. Let's warm something in here. Something that kids like. So we'll just go through. 1 scoop or 2. This is like cakes and rainbow sherbet and dreamsicle. So that's an option. That's from 2024. I'd rather use something older. So let's see. We have peach gelato. Oh, I'm going to put this aside because I'm going to use that for the peach day. I want to use up these ones first if I can. So we have apple fritters, vanilla butter fudge. So we'll put that as a maybe for something if we can. Jumping on clouds, we have vanilla crunch donuts, monster cookie, marshmallow smoothie, cup of cake, and cotton candy frosting. Well, kids love all these things, I would say. I probably don't even really need to look more. I'm going to put this one in as the kids. Kids jumping all over the place. This is a good one for that. All right, melt something clean. Oh gosh, this is probably the type of scent that I least gravitate towards, but it's not that I dislike it, I just don't have a lot of it. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to move this over here, my testers. So these are testers that are retired from last year. So I know that there's Daydream Oasis. That is almost like a spa scent. So I'm gonna put this aside and we'll grab it for the spa day. So I know that would be a good one for spa day. What do we have here? Banana leaf and bamboo. Sorry, the bags are kind of messy. Banana leaf and bamboo. That used to be in the cleaning, I think. Was it not? I think so. I think it was. I'm going to put this as my clean scent. So put that. Let's just see what else I've got in here. I've got Peace Lily Be With You. Apricot Vanilla. That could also be on the peach day. I've got Havana Cabana. Newborn Nursery. Cinnamon Vanilla. 100 Acre Wood, which is ugly. And White Amber and Silk, which is light, but sorry, my hands are a mess. All right, and then, like I said, Mystery Man on Lush Gardenia. Anyway, so let's just put this back where it belongs. All right, sorry. I'll bring my paper over and we'll see what's next. Where am I? Okay, so I did the clean on the 12th. If you zoom into the 13th, it says leftover. Use up any neglected but partially used wax. Neglected but partially used. Neglected but partially used wax. I know there's one in here. Like all these ones are, need to be used up. But there's one in here that's almost gone, and it's getting light, I feel like. And it's from Second and Spruce Milk and Cookies. So I have maybe less than half a, whatever this is called, souffle next. So I'll use that up. So I've got 4 vendor 1, 2, 3, 5 Scentsy bars and 4 testers. So I'm roughly about equal here. All right, let's see. I'll grab the sheet and we'll see what the next one is. All right, it says on the 14th, I'll bring it a little closer. Melt a wax with a really short name. Melt a wax with a really short name. Well, out of all my club scents, I know that the shortest name one is Sugar. So, and I do have a partial bar of that. So we'll use this, and my goal is I have 4 cubes. This mixes really well with a lot of things, by the way. So I will use this. I could even mix this with something like a whipped frosting. That would be really nice. But anyway, I will use this up, and I'm aiming to use another bar. And actually, I'd like to use probably 2 bars of cotton candy cookie. I'm just putting that out there in the universe so that I will do it. All right, the next one, on the 15th, pop in a fall scent if you're impatient, or one from the summer that starts with F. Well, I don't know if I have any ones from the summer that start with F that I can think of. And it's funny because last time when I did this, there was all these options and I couldn't think of them off the top of my head. But I will just cheat and do one that's fall related. And this is a brick that I have. It's probably almost my oldest wax. It's from Ava's Country Cupboard. It's called Haunted House. It's fried pastries, apples, caramel, and a dash of spice. And this was from September of 2022. And I still have a fair amount left, so let's pick that, and I will warm some of that. All right, the next one, it says, on the 16th, right in the middle of the screen there, bottoms up, melt something with a boozy theme. Melt something with a boozy theme. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I have a lot of things with a boozy theme, but I mean, obviously... No, I was going to say, this is kind of cheating. I was going to say, at your beach party, you'd have some booze. But, obviously, there's no alcohol. Sometimes it's hard to find ones with alcohol. Let me see. I'm just going through here. This is like a bakery with... Oh. There's blackberry in here. Blackberry says... Butter cookies with blackberry and strawberry jam, vanilla bean Noel donuts, and zucchini. That sounds really nice. I don't even remember what I'm looking for. Boozy. Oh yeah, boozy. Okay, well let me think. Pina colada cha-cha has a boozy note. Pomegranate prosecco has a boozy note. Gosh, I don't really think I have anything here with a boozy note. Let's just go through if we can find something. We have Gilligan's Brew, berry, creme brulee, and a touch of heavy cream. No. Warm and cozy apple fritter, cinnamon bun. No. Buttermint. No. Caramel apple, cinnamon sugar zucchini. No. Pumpkin crunch. No. Blue sugar, pink sugar, mallow fireside. No. Don't cross streams. No. Beach night. No. I did that one. Sorry. What do we have here? Mango cupcake. No. Caramel macchiato. No. Maybe you could put some booze in it. Espresso donut Nobel. No. Lemon pound cake. No. I don't even know if I checked those yet. Raspberry pecan crunch donuts. No. And see, I'm not really doing so well. Tiffany's. Here's another blackberry. Tiffany's blackberry jam cupcake. What's over here? Oops. Oh, that's the donut espresso one. Maybe what I'll do is I will grab Pina Colada Cha-Cha and I will warm that. Let me just pause the video and I'll grab it. Okay, now that I've bored you to death, I just grabbed a tester of it. Rather than open a clamshell, because I just want to use up some testers. So Pina Colada Cha-Cha, that will be my boozy one, even though it doesn't smell like that. All right. So that was the 16th. 17th, warm a spa scent. Well, I think Daydream Oasis was when I said I was going to melt for that. Sorry, it's kind of in this ugly bag, but Daydream Oasis, that is what I will melt for that day. On the 18th, melt a long-lasting scent. All right. I was thinking about this and I thought to myself, some of my club scents are long-lasting and I know which one I want to melt. It's kind of a weird scent to pick, but I just want to melt this and I have a lot of it. So I'm going to pick Icicles and Evergreen, and I'm probably going to warm this maybe in my main space just because I want to just let her rip. So I was just thinking about this the other day and I have a lot of it. So it's out of season, but that's okay. There's no rules to home fragrance. All right, the next one, it says day off, free melt day. So I will carry that one over because it's long enough to last a couple of days. On the 20th, it says melt a scent that starts with the first letter of your last name. Well, my last name is Gates, so it starts with G. And I have one club scent that starts with G, and it is right back here. And I think it's the only one I have. Yes, it is Ginger Cookie Crunch. So I will pick this one to melt because I haven't warmed this, and this one is dated October 24. So I'd like to warm this again. I remember it reminds me of a warmer version of Vanilla Bean Buttercream. It's a little bit more rich and warm, but yeah, I'm looking forward to giving that a revisit. Oops, I dropped something. All right, let's see where are we at? I don't know if you guys like the sheet or not. Let me know down in the comments below. All right, the last name we did. On the 21st, melt any sunset colored wax. Well, you could have like an orange or a yellow or, you know, like a peachy red or a red. But I thought to myself, haha, Patricia, I know exactly what I'm going to melt. It's a combination of all those colors. It's kind of like here in this wax. Oh, let me take it out of the bag. I was warming it this month and it's, oops, I got a loose piece here. I'll just grab the main piece. But this is kind of like a pretty sunset color. It's got a whole bunch of, it's got yellow and red and orange. So, and this is called Fa Ra 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 from Sassy Girl Aroma. So, and the notes on this, I'll just show you here. Let's see. Fresh from the oven, hot apple pie, cranberry marmalade, and whipped cream. Thank you very much. I will melt that. So that'll be my sunset colored wax. All right. Oh my gosh. I got a little bit of wax on my pants. That's okay. It's going to still at least smell good. All right. I'm making a little bit of a mess here, but that's okay. All right. Where was I? Sunset colored. Okay, on the 22nd, it says Tooth Fairy Day. Melt what you would imagine is her signature scent. Well, I was thinking about this and I thought like something sugary or sweet or candy. And I was just like, I'm not really sure what her signature scent would be. But I think for lack of for lack of imagination, I'm going to say love and happiness because I feel like she would be both those things. I don't have anything that's tooth related, but yeah. Probably something sugary and candy sweet, but that's what we're probably going to go for now. Love and happiness. It's in my club. So I have another one here I could always use if I need to. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think, anyway, I've got a lot. So I got to use this up. So I'll try to use this one up and maybe another one if I can. All right. Where were we? That was the Tooth Fairy one. On the 23rd, melt a wax that makes you think of a road trip. There's a Highway Run, which I don't have in my club, and I don't have that handy. But I thought to myself, I've been reading a lot of those like romance, sexy books. And there was one that I read recently where this girl went off and she kind of had an incident and some guy kind of saved her, of course. And they ended up going kind of on a road trip together. So starting out, he was a mystery. So I'm gonna use that as a stretch and warm these cubes of Mystery Man. So yeah, that was a good one. I liked that book and I can't remember the name of it. Where were we? Road trip. So we stretch with Mystery Man because she ended up falling in love with that guy. Of course they do. That's how they all end. Okay, on the 24th, melt a breakfast scent. Melt a breakfast scent. Well, there was something in my, I'm just going to close up my, I'll just move this over. There was something in here. It's a breakfast treat, wasn't there? Sweet morning treats. This sounds like perfect. Apple fritters and vanilla butter fudge. So it sounds like a breakfast kind of, well, I can't really smell it the greatest. Sometimes Scoopables are hard to smell, but I'll give that a go because it's from October of 2022. And then that works in some more vendor. All right. So that's breakfast. So we're on to the 25th, banana split day. Melt any of its ingredients. Well, banana splits has like ice cream. It has bananas, which I don't think I have a lot of banana in vendor wax. It has pineapple. It has strawberries and whipped cream. I already used whipped frosting, but there was a Sassy Girl Aroma one here, if I remember. Let me just go through it here. This would also be a road trip one, Escape to the Cabin. Anyway. I have one that's called Pineapple Pound Cake. And I prefer to use this one up. And the notes on this are pineapple, rich butter notes, and vanilla. So I will use this on the banana split day, and that will be another vendor. All right. Hopefully I'm roughly equal, but I'll check at the end and I'll put a little summary. All right, Kevin, pick something controversial you dare only melt when you're home alone. So this would be something that my family doesn't tend to like, or my husband, because he doesn't really like peach scents, but we do have a peach one coming up. I feel like I'm going to go with Testers, and I have two right here. So I'm either going to pick Newborn Nursery, which I think Erica likes, or Lush Gardenia, which my husband would like, but probably not anybody else. So maybe I will try to warm both. I will do both if possible, because that's just how we roll. Okay. On the 27th, melt a peach scent. Well, I do have a Yankee Candle that I can burn, but I can also do this peach one that I came across. Peach Gelato, which is sweet butter, waffle cone, warm vanilla, and a hint of peach. So we'll do that scoopable. And you can melt scoopables in Scentsy warmers because they melt very well at a slightly lower temperature. Obviously, they melt well at a high temperature too, but you have to clean them up with either hot dumping or like a cotton method to clean it up. All right, melt a green or peridot wax for August birthstone. Melt a green or peridot wax. I was thinking about this, and I was trying to think ahead and looking around, but I think if I remember correctly, there is a wax in here that is roughly, like I thought marshmallow mint, but I've warmed that so much. But Candy Apple Delight. Whoa, I almost dropped it. That's roughly peridot color, if not bang on. So, and I have 4 of these. So when I get my next one, that will be the one that will push me into the second row. So this will be a good one to melt. This one is really nice. It is a license bar, but I'm looking forward to giving it a remelt. So we'll do that. All right. Where were we? So we're on melt a lemon scent. And I don't think I have any lemon club. I'll probably check for vendor. I don't think I have any testers with lemon. Not in this area. So I do have a lemon in here, I remember. Is this it? Yeah, lemon pound cake. Oh, you know what? I'm going to put this aside because I know I have an open lemon right here in my vendor wax bin, and it is from L3. It's lemon cream pie, vanilla wafer, whipped cream. This is really, really nice. So I will use this. Sorry about the glare. If I can get the lighting. I will use this yellow wax for that day. Where am I? We have 2 more. It says melt a beachy scent for National Beach Day. Well, I know I have a lot of those I have beach nights in here. So I remember seeing it. And I have some beachy ones for Sassy Girl. So I could use either Adam's Beach Party, Night at the Beach, or I think I had beach nights. Oh, I have beach wedding. Jesus. Sorry, didn't mean to swear. Beach wedding. Let me see. I feel like I might want to either warm Adam's Beach Party, it's Strawberry Pound Cake and Beach Night, or Beach Wedding. I'll warm this one because it's more summery. So we'll go with that because of the strawberry. And last it says, back to school, melt any apple scent. Back to school, melt any apple scent. Well, let's be a club gal. And I do have these two, but I obviously used, and this apple butter frosting would be a good one to use. Let me just make sure I don't have any extra of that. Oh, I do. There's apple butter frosting way down here from, oh, that's 2025. Okay, so 2024, February is my earliest one. So I will use that for the back to school. I'm going to put down below how many I have a vendor, how many I have days of testers, and how many days of club I have, just to see if they're roughly even. So let me know if you're going to participate in the challenge or what kind of scents you melt in August. Are you still doing summer? Are you doing fall? Do you kind of pick things at transition? We can keep talking in the comments. I will see what you guys pick. I hope you enjoy the challenge. I work hard to try to make it balanced, but sometimes I feel like it's hard to do. So if you have any suggestions, let me know. Take care, and I will see you guys in the next video.